Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, and I also thank the Honourable Member for his question. Mr. Speaker, sir, COVID-19 is a disruptor. We all know that the COVID pandemic has not only disrupted the education sector worldwide, but every sector of the economy. With almost 2 years of living with the pandemic, COVID is not going anywhere anytime soon. However, Mr. Speaker, sir, life cannot stop because of COVID. We have to learn to live with it. Mr. Speaker, sir, returning to school has taken on new meaning and a new set of worries for teachers, parents, and guardians. Schools have to balance the educational, social, and emotional needs of their students, along with stringent safety requirements to protect our students and teachers during this pandemic. Mr. Speaker, sir, my ministry, working very closely with the Ministry of Health and Medical Services, has undertaken a considerable amount of work to keep our schools safe. In August 2021, the ministry developed a COVID-safe schools reopening guidelines that outline the multi-layered mitigation measures and the responsibilities of heads of schools, teachers, and parents to ensure COVID-safe measures are implemented. Teachers and school heads underwent rigorous COVID-safe reopening training programs. We are very grateful to the competent international organizations such as WHO and UNICEF for their advice and guidance, particularly advising us on research data and science to strategize better in reopening schools for our children. The Ministry of Education worked closely with the Ministry of Health and Medical Services to ensure all schools have COVID-safe measures based on the implementation of multi-layers of mitigation measures. Mitigation measures included temperature screening, correct and consistent mask use, physical distancing as much as possible, increased ventilation in classrooms, hand washing with soap, respiratory etiquette, staying at home when sick, and cleaning and disinfection of school spaces. Moreover, all teachers and ancillary staff throughout Fiji are fully vaccinated, Mr. Speaker, sir. Heads of schools started preparing the schools from October 2021 by using the free education grant to buy consumables, prepare signage, clean, repair classrooms and compounds. Ministry also distributed cleaning agents, masks, sanitizers, and thermal guns received from the private sector, NGOs, and from our development partners. Mr. Speaker, sir, all schools were inspected by the Ministry of Health and Medical Services and Ministry of Education officials to ensure schools met the required COVID-safe standard. Sick bays are set up in schools for students who may present symptoms of COVID. Clear canteen guidelines were developed and COVID-safe messages have been displayed in schools. In fact, just last week, there was another round of school inspections carried out by the Ministry of Health and Medical Services officials to ensure schools were ready to receive ECE to year 7, up to year 7 students. Schools have ensured that classrooms are well ventilated, new fans were installed, hand washing facilities and sanitizers are available for teachers and students. I have personally visited 60 schools around Fiji and have seen the level of preparedness at each school. And I must commend the teachers, head of school, school management team, parents, guardians for this great effort. During my recent visit to school, I was taken through the COVID safety protocols at each school, which I found well in order. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is important for us to understand that COVID-safe measures require multi-layered approach. All of these measures complement each other to ensure school facilities safe for children to attend schools. Mr. Speaker, sir, while the opposition and teacher unions have selectively raved on about physical distancing, they know very well that COVID-safe measures require a multi-layered approach. We have said it so many times, and so have the Ministry of Health and Medical Services, UNICEF, and WHO. They do this, Mr. Speaker, sir, to create fear amongst our parents and guardians. Mr. Speaker, sir, I reiterate that evidence continues to show that schools are not the main driver of transmission, and when mitigation measures are in place and consistently applied, children are less likely to contract COVID-19 in schools than in the community settings. Globally, while sporadic COVID-19 cases have been reported in schools, relative to the level of community transmissions, schools have not been identified as super-spreading settings. Mr. Speaker, sir, our teachers, parents, and school management committees, together with the guidance of Ministry of Health and Medical Services, and with our development partners, we have put in the hard yards to ensure safe reopening of schools. In fact, those who question whether our schools are safe for our children, I ask them, how safe are children in their communities, at community functions, at the supermarket, in cinemas, at municipal markets, in places of worship? Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.